His name is Demosthenes. He was a contemporary of theirs, also known as the greatest Greek orator in history. Now, what does Demosthenes have to do with performance-based communication?
The dramatic effect of his communication. That's
exactly right. But let me tell you that he wasn't always the great Greek orator that we knew him to be. In fact, in addition to being a great Greek orator, he was also a statesman who rose through the political ranks in ancient Greece. But he wasn't always like that. You see, when he was a young boy, he was very shy. He stuttered. His communication was horrible. He was the son of a wealthy sword maker. And at the age of 7, his father died and left him a sizable inheritance. He also left him in the care of his guardian, Aphobus. Now, as Demosthenes grew older, before he could collect on his inheritance, he began to suspect that Aphobus was cheating him and that he was squandering his fortune. And he was right. So he took him to court. And in 4th century Greece, court wasn't a room with a judge and a bunch of jurors. Court was the people. You would go in front of 400 to 500 people in the town square, up on a stage, in a theater-like setting. Very intimidating. Well, Demosthenes laid out the perfect argument. He wrote the perfect speech. And guess what? He was horrible. He nearly got booed off the stage. In fact, he was so bad when he left that stage, he got inspired to become a more effective communicator. So he tried his hand at oratory and began giving speeches in the public. And he was the worst. He used to get booed off the stage every single time. In fact, one time an old man came up and just berated him so much that he left in tears. And on that day, he was walking broke, despondent, and dejected in the streets of ancient Athens when he was approached by the great actor Satyrus. And Satyrus walked up to him and he said, "You know, Demosthenes, I saw your speech. What do you think was the problem?" And Demosthenes said, "I don't know. My speeches are the best. Fishermen get better responses than I do. I don't understand these people." And Satyrus said, "You know, Demosthenes, here's your problem. Your speeches are very well written. Your material is great. But it's not about the message. It's about how you deliver the message that's going to influence your audience to react the way you want. You see, you have no intention behind your words. You have no purpose. And without purpose or intention, your audience doesn't know how to feel. So consequently, it's just a bunch of words." Well, that inspired Demosthenes so much for the next 2 years, he worked with Satyrus, learning performance-based acting and delivery techniques to perfect his communication. He became so good, others would hire him to orate their arguments. He became so great, he used to speak politically for different groups, eventually rising up to the position which would be the equivalent of the leader of the Democratic Party. He became so powerful, he spoke against Philip of Macedon and Alexander the Great, and influenced the masses so much that he eventually got arrested and forced into exile. Now, of course, the story that I want to leave you with is that you can become a stuttering, shy 7-year-old all the way up into a great Greek orator if you use performance-based communication techniques. But if we finish the story with Demosthenes, he ends up getting brought back to Athens, and before he could go on trial, he swallows poison and kills himself. So hopefully we don't take that technique. So we didn't invent performance-based communication. It's been around since Demosthenes, as far as we know. We've merely cultivated and brought it into the corporate arena so that we can teach you, whether you're communicating one-on-one in a performance review, whether you're delivering difficult news in a team meeting, or having to push back to the client in a large presentation. We want to make sure that when you deliver your message to your audience, your intention is so clear that they react the way you want them to. And that's what the Pinnacle Method is all about.